All right. Hello there. I'm Matteo. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. Um, yeah, this is the first video I'm making, so I'm just going to kind of like lay it out there, plant my flag in the ground, and give a little overview of what you can expect if you come and watch videos here. So, I've had this thought in my mind for a long time that I want to start sharing videos and stories and information and things that I've learned, and finally feel like I'm at a point where it's time to do that. I feel like the last few years have been learning and growing a lot myself and beginning to really apply a lot of life lessons that I was kind of gathering in my 20s, and now I'm entered into my 30s, and I feel this transition to it's time to share, it's time to start transmuting that learning into now beginning to teach and share a little bit. So welcome to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here. And yeah, I'm Matteo, so originally born Matthew. I'm originally from the United States, from Georgia, the South. Grew up outside of Atlanta in the suburbs, very normal upbringing, normal suburban upbringing. I have a great family, awesome relationship with my parents and a sister. Um, and yeah, like it's funny how where I've ended up now, because in my childhood I never would have guessed that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, which is farming. I have a farm in Costa Rica, and I am planting and building it out to be a center for people to be able to come and visit and really connect with the land and learn about alternative living, about sustainable living, natural building and permaculture, natural farming, art and music and dance, and really just how to be a human being, which has been my journey of learning how to really just be a human being and really embody ourselves in this lifetime, in this physical world, and make the most of what this gift of life has to offer us. So yeah, I started out, in just a very normal American kind of life, and but always knew that that wasn't home. And I first came to Costa Rica in 2020. I learned about this place called Rancho Mastatal, which is an amazing education center, about 3 hours away from where I live now. It's in a village called Mastatal. And I learned about it just through a very coincidental meeting. I had just broken up with a girlfriend at that time, and I was feeling pretty depressed and low. And I was actually working in the Virgin Islands, a pretty cool job, rebuilding affordable housing apartment complexes that were damaged in hurricanes. Um, and I was in this beautiful place, but I was suffering. I was struggling from this breakup, and um, one day I was just feeling super low, and I finally dragged myself out of bed. I'm like, okay, I need to get outside. I need to go for a walk. And I went for a walk, and I ended the walk around the sunset, sitting on this beach, and I met this woman, and we just started talking, and we had this really beautiful conversation, this deep connection and deep conversation, sharing where I was at and what I was going through in this breakup, um, and she said to me, after every breakup I've ever had, I've gone and traveled, find myself again and take some time for myself. And she was like, you know, I spent a few months at this place in Costa Rica called Ranch Mastatal. You should go there. You would really like it. Yeah, you should go there. And I was just like, okay. Never been to Costa Rica, never even thought of going to Costa Rica. But I went home and I looked it up, and it was just like, whoa, everything I want to do. I studied ecology and environmental science in college, and then when I graduated, I was just depressed and seeking and didn't know what to do, and so I started working in construction consulting. That's how I ended up in the Virgin Islands. I felt like I'd kind of strayed from my path, and I had started to feel called back to working with the earth in some way, working, um, you know, more heart-centered work. And I'd been feeling kind of tired of this conventional construction world and watching other people build stuff while I was sitting on a computer tracking budgets and schedules and everything. Um, and so I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to learn how to do it myself. This place, Rancho Mastatal, do it myself and do it better in a better way. And what really drew me to their programs was the natural building work and building with earth and wood, timber framing and bamboo building and cob and natural plasters. And I was like, wow, that looks so amazing. And that's what I want to do. It's exactly what I want to do. So I reached out. I applied originally for the internship. They have a 2-month internship, but it was full. And they said the apprenticeship for next year is taking applications. So I applied, and I got accepted. And there was just a few spots, and I was really fortunate. I got accepted. And so the next year, I ended up in Costa Rica. And I spent a whole year there at Rancho Masatal. It was 2020, COVID year, so it was a very unique year, but kind of the best place I could possibly be during COVID and lockdowns and everything. Because we just had this super tight knit group, about 12, 13 of us. And really, that was my first real experience of living in community, of living an alternative and sustainable lifestyle where we were working the land. Like it was the ranch was about almost some 20 years in uh, to their whole project and experience. So it was well established. Their food forests were really established and gardens and everything. So we spent a lot of time that year working the land and eating off the land and making beautiful creations with the food from the land there. And I had studied ecology and environmental sciences in college, but I never touched farming. I'd done a little bit of gardening with my mom when I was younger, and it's just this piece that I missed. And it's funny because I now feel like it's like the core piece, is our food and like the natural world, how we not how we make a living, but how we live, like from the fruits of the earth. And so I really fell in love with the natural building that I went there to learn about, but also with permaculture, with farming and growing food and medicine. And that year completely changed my life, and I felt like I was back on my path 100%. And just got to explore so many cool projects. We built a whole house, we built a whole bathroom, we from ground up, foundation to roof, and then all the good stuff in between, and cob and adobe bricks, and just getting in the mud and working with your hands and creating something, and the style of building that's like it's growing, it's alive. It takes shape with your repeated effort day after day, coming back and letting it come alive. It's not this like hard edged rule of building and these particular industrial materials that are very specific, and the application is very specific. Like with earth building, with natural building, there's so much room to be creative and to express yourself and to listen to the landscape that you're in, and build something that grows out of that landscape. And likewise with the farming aspect, it's just like this deep learning of connecting and of being really present, and the value of sustained effort in something. And that was just the beginning, just the taste. It's 2026 now, so it was 6 years ago. And I only feel like just kind of now in the last year that I'm like really understanding in a much deeper way these lessons of being committed to something, of being dedicated to something, and putting in sustained effort, even if it's just a little bit of effort every day, what you get out of that. So that was kind of where the seeds were very much planted. And about 3 years ago, I ended up where I am now, and I bought this farm. And there's a whole nother longer story that I think I'll do another video of, like how I came to be here exactly. It's a kind of a wild story. Again, kind of this. There's these moments in my life that it feels very much like, dink, God put an angel there to give me directions to the next town down the road where there's a bed I can stay at night, or a barn that I can sleep in, so to speak. And I feel I came to be in this place that I am now and on this land for a reason. I have a spiritual belief in that, and that I'm in the right place. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And then in a way I was called here to this land to steward it, to help regenerate it, to help transform it into a more beautiful space for me and for my friends and family and community, for humanity, but also for Mother Earth herself and all of the animals and plants here. This was a coffee plantation. It's about 10 hectares, and almost all of it was coffee, and like only coffee. There's a little piece at the bottom, almost a hectare, about 2 acres, that is forest that was left. And that's why I fell in love with this place was when I walked into that forest and felt, oh, there's still a beating heart here, and I felt that beating heart was like calling for the rest of this land to heal back to that state. And this coffee farm was very intensively farmed for like 20 years, a couple decades. Very heavy chemical agriculture, a lot of herbicide, a lot of pesticide, and so it was pretty sick. By the time I got here, most of the coffee was very old and dying, not really producing anymore, and the soil was very depleted. Um, and so at the heart of this project is a regeneration project and a reforestation project. Most of this area of the farm is being replanted with native species, with hardwoods, forest species. And then I'm also doing large plantings of food forests, of diverse food forests with a lot of different fruit, a lot of different food, a lot of different medicine, so that there's something for everybody, all humans and the plants and animals as well. So um, it's a really it's a heart-centered project. It's very much, I feel this is one of my karmic works in this life, to do this work, to come to this place and help this land heal. Really starting from a blank slate, a very kind of unhealthy, uh, ill state, and to bring life back. And 3 years since I came here already is an incredible change. Just alone, the natural process of Mother Earth healing is amazing. Like just getting out of the way. And then as I get deeper and deeper into working and tending and helping shape that regrowth, it's starting to really come alive in a beautiful way. So I'm really excited to share more about that. Um, I started recording more video last year, so I have a lot of cool video of some of the process of that, of shaping some spaces, of going and doing this farm work, the planting work, the preparation work, the maintenance work. Um, Building trails throughout the land, building um, beds of gardens and spaces, and um, designing and implementing, the overall permaculture design to create a living, working organism of a farm that supports humans and wildlife both. So I'm really excited to share more about that. Um, yeah, I've over the last few years, like I've kind of built everything here. There wasn't really anything. There was this little house that I'm in. I'm in the garage, which is my living room for now, that we love to hang out in, and that I've built a greenhouse and a nursery and planted out these food forests and started the reforestation. So it's still very young. It's a very early days in this project, but it's in an exciting point. I think it's a great point to start to share about it, where there's still going to be a lot of opportunity for people to come and help and be a part of the transformation, but also enough has been done where I can really illustrate some of the systems, ideas, and implementations that we've been working with. So I'm super excited about it, as well as the last 2 years I was more focused on planting. It was a lot of work, a lot of land, 20, almost 25 acres, 10 hectares. So it's been a lot of work to just get into the shaping and the planting. Um, this year I'm turning my focus a little bit more to beginning to build some more things. So I'm getting ready to do a timber frame build, a little cabin, a little cabina, casita, and I'm gonna film that whole process, and then I'll be doing a lot of cool earthen building elements to fill that out and to make it really beautiful, as well as I have some ideas for some cool earthen building elements for the garden, some benches and some little beds and just garden walls, as well as just other artistic projects. I actually have a friend here right now, and we're doing these cool paintings on the house. It's a great blank slate of a house to just go wild and paint. So we're getting into some painting, and yeah, I have a lot of other interests as well that I'm going to share about. I love to play music, guitar and flute and harmonica, percussion. I have a lot of friends in this area that we like to jam, play music. I'm super interested in meditation and yoga and these systems of regulation and care for our bodies and our minds, um, as well as just philosophical musings. I love to just think and talk and have beautiful conversations, and uh, generate the evolution of our consciousness is a big also part of my mission. And I feel that the very physical grounded work of farming and building is, both these things are like very strong tools for regulation of our nervous systems and for integration of intense experiences like psychedelic and plant medicine experiences. That's also a big part of my story. And like I was mentioning, the story of how I came to be in this particular place is through plant medicine. And my work in farming and in natural building was the root that really grounded me through really intense, transformative, and healing experiences. So that's also very much a part of my vision for this place, is that it can be a safe container for other people to go through those processes in a more slow, restful, subtle way, where it's not like going to a retreat for a weekend or for a week and having this mind-blowing, crazy psychedelic experience and then going back to your life and right back into all the shit that was pushing you to these negative coping patterns in the first place. So that was my experience. I ended up down here at a friend's farm where I had the time and space to really integrate these profound healing experiences. And I feel that that is also part of the purpose of this place, of this farm, to be that safe space for other people to come and stay for a few weeks, you know, for a longer time before or after plant medicine experiences, so that they can really process and integrate those experiences. And through the really real, physical, grounded experience of working in the garden, of building something with clay, getting that clay all over your body, you know, going and washing it off in the river, like there's just a beautiful opportunity to connect with our humanness here. And so that's a big part of what I'm trying to cultivate here. So that's a little bit, just an overview of me and a little bit of how I ended up here and what I'm hoping to do and plans and goals. So I hope that you subscribe and stay tuned and follow along for the journey. Much love.